Ushering in a new age this morning, my friends. Hello and welcome to the Center of Love. Nice to see a whole bunch of familiar faces here and also a brand new face. Just wanted to say, if everybody can say hi to Fiona, who's joining us for the first time today. It's a small, intimate gathering, so no need to be shy. Fiona, thanks for joining us. Hi, thanks for coming. So for those who are new, which is you, Fiona, the Center of Love is a community rooted in the belief that we are all part of a single human family, that everything in the universe is interconnected, and that love is the power that holds all of this beautiful creation together. So we gather here not because we all think the same way or believe the same things, or even walk the same spiritual path, but because we share a common intention to grow in love, to honor both our differences and our deeper unity, and to create a space where each person can bring their gifts, questions, and experiences to the forefront. At the Center of Love, we're not here to be told what to believe. We are here to listen deeply, to explore sincerely, and to remain open to the many ways truth, beauty, and love may reveal themselves to us. And today, we turn our attention to the subject of Atlantis. Now, for some of us, Atlantis is a historical memory, the echo of an ancient civilization whose knowledge, beauty, and spiritual understanding have been partially forgotten. For others, Atlantis is more mythic than literal, a symbolic story about humanity's rise and fall, our gifts and our dangers, our relationship with power, wisdom, technology, and nature itself. And for many, perhaps, Atlantis lives somewhere in between, not easily categorized as either fact or fantasy, but carrying a meaning that continues to call to us. Now, whether Atlantis was historical, mythical, or a bit of both, there are powerful insights and lessons to be learned from engaging with its story. Myths endure because they speak to something deep in the human soul. They give shape to questions we are still asking today. How do we live in harmony with one another? How do we use knowledge and power wisely? What happens when a civilization becomes disconnected from love, humility, and spiritual balance? And what becomes possible when human beings awaken to their true nature? This makes the topic deeply relevant to our community, which is interested in healing, growth, wholeness, and, if I may be so bold, the unification of the human family. We're also living in a time of tremendous change where humanity is once again wrestling with immense power, technological, social, ecological, and yes, even spiritual power. The story of Atlantis, however we understand it, invites us to reflect on what kind of civilization we are building together and what kind of human beings we want to become. It's also worth remembering that Atlantis is not a modern invention. Plato felt this story was important enough to include in 2 of his dialogues and to discuss with seriousness and depth. And if Plato, one of the foundational voices of Western philosophy, considered Atlantis worthy of reflection, surely there is something here for us as a modern people to explore as well. Atlantis matters not only as possible ancient memory, but as a mirror. It reflects the perennial human challenge of aligning power with wisdom, knowledge with humility, civilization with love. So today we are invited to listen with both discernment and imagination. We do not have to suspend our intelligence and we do not have to harden ourselves against mystery. We can hold the topic with curiosity, humility, and openness. And to guide us through this very fascinating topic, we have our friend and member, Richard Desrosiers. And for those of you who know him, you know that he is a man who wears many hats and has done many fascinating things in his life. Not least among them, he's been a professional poker player, very surprising to me, a florist, and now he is a painter and also an artist. So he paints for a living, but he also paints creatively. So a man of many talents with a deep background in spiritual tradition. And so I'm excited to hear and learn more about Atlantis from you, Richard. Come on up.
Okay, first of all, I look at all of you and I want to say I love you. This is the center of love. And I see you, I feel you, I sense you, I wish things better for you. And you know, the healing also, we all suffer in general from something. So we're going to talk about the healing technique in Atlantis also. So I have only 20 minutes, something that should take me 2 hours. So that's why I'm going to read, but you will see. I'm going to read something here. First of all, okay, how do we really know what happened in prehistory? You see, people can learn only a small part of what humanity experienced in prehistoric time. You know, through what we call I call ordinary history. So I'm talking about old India, old Persia, old Egypt. You know, at the time when they had spiritual leaders, you know, Zarathustra, or Zoroaster, you have Rama in India, and then, you know, so it's a time we don't have the writings that about it. So how do we know about this? All right. So some knowledge came through belonging to you know, a religion, and then so we hear about it. You know, we can look at the Bhagavad Gita and other books. You know, but there is something else. It's limited. This knowledge is limited. Everything belonging to the external world of the five senses. Now, these five senses, we have 12 senses. We don't have five senses, it's the animal senses. You know, we have the ego sense, we have the warmth sense, you know, somebody you are expecting, somebody, your family, you go to the airport, you wait for them, you love her maybe, and oh, you sense warmth within you. But if somebody puts some instrument, they will not see there is no heat. But that's an inner sense. So I'm just telling you, I'm not going to talk about the 12 senses today. So anyway, so because of these five senses, we are limited here in our understanding of history. And because time destroys what has originated in time. So external, what I call external history, is dependent on what have been preserved in time. But if it's not preserved physically in time, how can we know about things like Atlantis or the other civilization before Atlantis, Lemuria? It's during the Lemuria epoch that in the Bible they talk about Adam and Eve. You know what happened? You know, that happened at the time of Lemuria. You know, that's another story. So how do we know about these things? We're missing the essential element that has been preserved. You know, if you are into science, you know, what is this law? Who said that? I studied that in school. The scientist said nothing is lost. You know, that really struck me when I was 14 years old. And nothing is lost. You know, you want to boil some spaghetti. You know, the water, it goes somewhere. Everything, it takes another form, becomes more subtle, right? It becomes, you know, vapor. And it's the same thing. Nothing is just anything that happened today. Somebody in the future say, I want to be here on July. What date are we today? 5th, you know, at the center of love. In the future, You know, they say, okay, and then their consciousness can be here and they can see, feel, sense what is happening during this time. It's possible. We have this capability. Um, but how can I say that? These are dormant in us in order to recognize the eternal. The eternal, when you look at the word eternal, it's like non-transitory. One, past, present, future is one line. You feel, you sense everything. You see someone, and then you see who they were, who they are, what they can be. It's a one line, really. So what I'm saying is a person, I'm trying to convince you maybe to understand that a person can penetrate into the eternal origin of all those events uh, um, um, by developing the forces, spiritual forces, in fact. So, and then time cannot destroy that. It's printed somewhere. What do we have with computers? We have the cloud. So everything is preserved somewhere. Well, same thing. Everything is preserved. It's very subtle somewhere. You think we invited the cloud? It already exists in the spiritual world. The computer already exists even faster than our computer. So it's, well, just a reflection of what really happened in the spirit world. So I will give you an example. I will give you an example that is not from a book. And I think you might understand what I'm talking about. You know, Joanna, she's a minister and she gives some lecture here. And she has some catering once a month at her place. So I was there last time. And then I was there, and then I'm there every month. And then I had a question, a deep question. So what these people who come here, always the same people, why do they come here? You will see what kind of question is that. But you will see what brings them here. In appearance, now we're talking about the history. You say, oh, that person met this other one. That other one told that person about Joanna. Or that person, oh, she came here at the Center of Love and she heard her. Then she goes to the meeting, right? And Joanna was giving a lecture in a church, and this other one was there. And so that's how they gather together. That makes sense? But that's superficial, like our history we have. For me, I have this deep search to try what is the connection, the deep connection. So Joanna, she does a 10 minutes meditation. During the meditation, I did not say I want something to happen. I just went into meditation, which for me it's easy to do. And then suddenly I found myself witnessing, seeing in some place under the ground. It was dark, and that place was made of soil, was the ground, whatever. It was not cement or anything like that. And then it was quite round. It was not a natural cave. It was man-built, right? And then I saw these people, the people in the gathering, I saw them there. And then they were waiting. They were waiting for somebody to come and talk to them of spiritual matter. And then I could sense there was this atmosphere. Everybody was whispering because they were careful not to be found. There was this feeling, but it was also a feeling of sacred, something very important was going to happen. This person was going to come. And then there was a child there. And then I recognized a child from Joanna partner. So I'm not going to talk about that, but then I found out something very interesting about it. But then mostly what I want to say, I was there, and then somebody arrived. There was a corridor, about that wide, and this person is coming, but I saw the light emanating from this person, and this person was the one coming. They were waiting to hear from him because he was one of the apostles of Jesus, or one follower of the apostle of Jesus, and he was going to talk to them directly, about the new teaching. At the time, they did not have the Bible or a book. Now, why is it connected to today, the gathering, Joanna? All these people, they had to do their spirituality in hiding, whispering, be careful. And they had a wish in their life that they wish one day, maybe they did not know about past life and future life, but they wish that they could do that in the light. You see what I mean? Without pressure, without they can be free to talk about that. And then they are the one meeting at Joanna's place. They wish for it, and that's what brought them there, because that fulfilled the wish, the deep wish they had. So you can see, you can go in the past and you can understand something that has to do with the present. By penetrating from transitory to non-transitory history, that's how in the future history will be thought. People will be able easily to have access to the Akashic record. Is there another name for Akashic record? Do you use another name? No? Okay. So this record, it's recorded. Everything is recorded. So you use something to record, but it already existed, right? And it's called the Akashic record. And so in the future, in school, they will not teach a story the way they do right now with a book, but they will have the student experiencing a time, a situation, and write, about it. And some are maybe better than others to reach some period of time in the past, and they will learn from it. So now, the Golden Age of Atlantis. Golden Age of Atlantis was about 12,000, 14,000 years BC. And it lasts about 1,500 years. That's all I was able to figure out. Now, a lot of the things I'm going to tell you is based on my own experience, a little, and from Rudolf Steiner, who talk a great initiate, talk about Atlantis in details, and also about this couple, Stuart Wilson and his partner, and they were doing past life regression. And some of the past life regression, some of the people there, they were talking about their experience in Atlantis, and they wrote a book, Atlantis and the New Consciousness. And there is a very nice, very good description based on that. So at the time of Golden Atlantis, they had 4 occupations mostly. There were those who seek exact knowledge, or these were the scientists, the technologists. There were those who attuned to sacred energy, the seers, the seers and the priests and the priestesses. And then those, the third occupation, who construct perfect relationship, the architects, the builders, that was important. And the architecture that time includes the relationship of various parts of a building to each other. Also the relationship of people to the building as a whole, and also the relationship of the building, the surrounding landscape. And then the last one, those who facilitate balance and harmony. Who are they? counselors, therapists, and we have some among us. And I'm telling you, these just continue the work they were doing in Atlantis. But in our materialistic society, it's so difficult, but they were able to continue it and find new ways related to Atlantis. So, time is of the essence. Okay, buildings. I will go fast on that. They have buildings. They have 7 kinds of buildings there. So I will go very fast because I want to talk about the healing technique. They have cities designed based on pyramid forms, big one, small one. They have other cities where the buildings were square and rectangular, but they have the importance of this building was on the doors. The doors and the windows. It has to be such a way that the eye is flowing easily. Looking at them, so it brings a feeling of easiness and flowiness. Maybe I'm creating a new word here. It's the resonance. It has a vibration. Then they have cities with curved building. Truly, all the buildings were like that. Windows were round or oval in shape. But these, specifically, what I found out looking at this thing, they were all into the colors of brown, different shade of brown. Now, they had something, curiously, they had walls. And the walls, they long walls, huge wall, and they would make them with bright color, orange, yellow, whatever. So that was quite interesting. They had the garden cities where they built. Everything is built into the woods, into the forest, but it's like a garden, a living garden. And other cities were temples, small temple with 2 columns, big one, and this is just like the architecture, But the one I want to talk the most about is the one that they had 6 houses in the shape of a honeycomb, 6 sides, 6 sides, and like a honeycomb. In the middle, there is a space. That's the garden. That's where they meet. That's where the children go play, And then you have 6. And what they will do, they will gather together, family, people who have the same interest. Musicians will be there. And then when they gather, they can play music. Counselor will be there, and they talk about the techniques and whatever. They bring the crystal or whatever. And then same interest, it's perfect. And then they keep on going, and then you have a huge city, but then you can get lost. So what they did at the time of Atlantis, they used colors. Oh my goodness. They use colors to find out where they are in the cities. They follow the spectrum of color. Us today, we put number 915, Mount View, number 3. They had no numbers. They go with the color. That's not possible. The art. In the Atlantean view, art should point towards a fine ideal and possess a spiritual quality. Dancing, often in groups and circles, will have the joy and lightness of sacred dance. The paintings shown with slimmering touches of light and a high frequency, pale and translucent color that are only now starting to return to human awareness. 2 years ago, if you go to the art store, Opus art store here, you will see the company start making these new paint, translucent, and with, just something they were using at the time of Atlantis, rediscovering that. So the music of Golden Atlantis was light and gentle in its character. They use many instruments, like today, and especially they like the flutes, but they also have instruments unknown to us, which were made of crystal. and that have been that had clear and pure tones that go beyond any instrument known today. So if you are able to access the Akashic record and you go in a time like that, you also hear that music unlike anything today. For me, it's very difficult to hear the music of today because I had the opportunity to hear something else. So they also they have some it's called a device that make music when a hand was not touching, the hand was going like that, and then the music started. It was amazing, and more than that, they had another one made of crystal um, that would resonate with the musician aura. Because, you know, the aura changes all the time. Let's say you are sad or you are angry, it's really red. If you are sad, it's bluish. Or if you have some worries and it changes, or if you are happy. And then this device were able to resonate with that vibration of your aura. Unknown of that today, you know. Now the sculpture focused on flowing forms, very light and you would have a feeling with the sculpture, a feeling like a bird flying, a dolphin, you know, jumping out of the water. You know, they're very simple. Oh my goodness. Drama. In the Atlantean times, at the Golden Age at least, it was very different from today. Today, the modern drama is based on conflict and the resolution of that conflict. But then, drama was on a journey. You go somewhere, you know, and you fulfill fulfillment. You know, it was very. Um, there's no focus on conflict, not that kind of drama at all. And there was no production of novels there, but they were plays. They had plays and story. Very, very important story with music, always with music. Um, so there were gentle drama. That's what I'm saying here. Um, and there was not a firm division between the spiritual and the artistic. It was connected all the time. And some writers were writing poesy. They had poets, but also they would write dedication, affirmations. You know, one of them is especially from when some of the students to become priests and priestesses at their graduation, then they will have this formulation. They will say, "I dedicate all that is within me to the service of light." Light was very important at that time. Light was a powerful symbol for the Atlanteans. Uh, they use it widely in their art, and it inspired them, you know, in the spiritual life. Now we have healing now. How am I going? I'm doing.
4 minutes after 11. Yeah, you got 5 minutes left.
Okay, healing. They have sound bath. And so the special temple connected with sounds. The patient will lie in a large shell-like structure, and the wave of sound will wash over him or her, you know. And I'm skipping a lot of details. And also they have another way with the sound. They will have a person sitting in the middle, and all the others around. They will hold some crystal, and then the crystal energy will kind of vibrate, and they will hum or they will go along. They will sing, and then I experienced that. So it's amazing. So one of the time I went in Atlantis. So there were other places where they had the crystal castle, but this time they were working with healing with perfume. Haha, but not perfume or essential oil, perfume from a real flower. Flowers that they have there, some we don't have anymore. And then the light will touch them and the perfume will come and the color also. So let's see, this is what happened. You enter the color chamber where the light shines through amazing flowers. The perfume goes straight into your brain and puts you into the mood for healing. It goes straight into the energy centers in the brain and it has the purpose of linking the physical body with the etheric body, the life body, and the etheric body with the other realms. So you are ready to receive higher healing. But you have to get a perfume first. Then there are other places where you will go in the building, and then the room is one color. The purple color light for the eyes, violet light for that goes right in your crown chakra. Or you have pink to stimulate the heart, especially for old people, to encourage the heart to beat regularly. They have amazing technique. And then they also have other building, all of that. Plenty. But there's one last thing I want to say, if I'm allowed, is there's something, I don't know if anybody have heard of axiotonal energy. Axiotonal energy. No, okay. So they were doing that, the lines of energy. If you do some observations, spiritual observation, you can see the lines. You look outside, there are lines of energy that exist. Even Maria Magdalena, after Jesus' death, she went west and she was working on these energy places, it's real, it's energy from the universe. And in fact, let's describe it as a merging of molecular biology and medical astrology, connected to astrology, the planets. And today they do have it. It's called axiotonal alignment therapy, galaxial infusion, reconnective healing. You see, it is still being developed. It's just like on there. I must stop because we have just 20 minutes. But after the pause, you can talk, have question, and if I can answer, fine. But if you have something you tell us. Okay? Thank you for listening.